Alrighty, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about how and when markets are manipulated. Okay, so we're going to be talking about ICT power of 3. So we're going to be looking at a few different examples in this video. I'm going to talk about Forex, but I'm also going to talk about futures as well. And we're going to talk about the key times and the signatures that you want to look for the signature for this manipulation to occur. Okay, so we're going to use this USD JPY here from Friday. So if you look at this chart, if you look at this daily chart of USD JPY, what you can see is we are clearly operating within a bearish market structure. Okay. And you can see this right here is a daily candle. Okay. I know I got some drawings on it. And actually, let me remove these drawings right here just to kind of clean it up a little bit. So you can see right here, this is a daily candle. This closed on Friday. And it did what? It expanded lower. It closed red. It was a bearish day for that candle. Just like yesterday was a bearish day, just like the day before that was a bearish day. You get the point, right? So it was a bearish expansion. And here's what you need to understand. This candle, here is the open of this candle. Look at my cursor. See, like right here where my cursor's moving back and forth, back and forth? That is where price opened at. Okay. And this right here, look at my cursor now. See the very top of that wick? That was the absolute high that price hit on Friday. And then right here was the absolute low that price hit on Friday. And right here where my cursor is where we closed on Friday. So why is this important, Mike? How does this connect? Well, here's what you need to understand. The very first thing that you want to see on a bearish expansion day, whenever there's going to be a bearish expansion and you'll just reverse it for bullish expansion, the very first thing that you want to see at the very beginning of the day, so coming into right after midnight into London session in that particular time, you want to see that's where your manipulation is going to occur. The manipulation, aka the Judas swing, is going to happen right after the open. It's going to be near the open. All right. So coming into London session is the common time you'll see it. Very beginning of London session. And you see this big wick right here because we've already established that this had a bearish expansion. It had a bearish close, as you can see. And this is the absolute highs I just pointed out. This high right here was the manipulation. This wick right here, you see all this wick right here? Okay, so ICT likes to use this saying. He says something like, the wicks will do the damage and the body tells the real story, right? That connects to this perfectly. The wicks do the damage and the bodies, they tell you the real story, okay? Because this wick right here that you see, this move up right here, that's pure manipulation. And its sole intention was to do what? Yes, to take out buy stops, but to come up and tap into this bearish imbalance up above. So let me note this for you so you can see it, because you can see this is a bearish fair value gap. And what is a fair value gap? It's an imbalance. It's an area that was not efficiently delivered. And we understand that price doesn't like to leave areas like that. It wants to efficiently deliver that price action. So this is serving as a draw on liquidity because it wasn't efficiently delivered. It's a draw on liquidity. It wants to rebalance that price action. So right away at the very beginning of the day, we have this draw on liquidity up here. And we open up, remember, we open up right here where my cursor's moving now. And we got this push up first. That's the key thing here. It pushes up first. The first move typically is the fake move, okay? That's what you want to look for. That first move up higher, because it looks very bullish. Because if you go down to a lower time frame chart, what you'll see is we're taking out previous day's highs. So what do you think happens when we're doing that, guys? Breakout buyers are all over this thing. It's got a lot of momentum towards it. It's ramping up. It's going crazy, right? And even I saw a little buy set up on it a little bit later, which we'll go into here in a moment. But I wasn't interested in buying this push up right here. Because even though it had a bearish expansion, there is opportunities in there. Even if the overall, we have that overall trend is clearly bearish on this. But not to get too sidetracked. We understand that this is a draw on liquidity up here. We understand that the first move is typically going to be the fake move. That's what you look for early London or right after midnight in that particular time. And you're going to look for that fake move higher. That's manipulation. So let's go down to a lower time frame chart so you can see a little bit better. You can see right here, here's what we get. You can see right here, we get this expansion higher. This is where we come in this particular area. You can see we're midnight. And what happens first? Like right after midnight, what do we see happen here on the 4-hour chart on USD JPY? Don't forget, we still have that daily imbalance up above that I just noted for you. It's serving as a drawn liquidity up above. And right after midnight into London session, we're seeing a push up immediately at a key time. We already understand that this is a key time that manipulation is going to be occurring. We can anticipate that. And it's making its first move higher, and it's taking out what? Higher time frame buy stops right here. As we were anticipating, and as I plugged in chat for you, I plugged it in my free Discord chat on Friday when it was down here. And I said it's going to probably come up and take this high right here and drop into this imbalance because it has that drawn liquidity up above, right? And again, for any of you guys that want to join that free Discord chat, there's going to be a link to that in the video description, okay? But again, not to get too sidetracked, we had that drawn liquidity. We had that buy stops right here, and we get the move after midnight. That is manipulation right there, okay? Let's go to the 1-hour chart so it's even better. You can see right here, look, here is midnight. So yes, we get a move lower immediately. We take out these sell stops right there, and then it's going to seek its next draw, and that's going to be this imbalance. It's going to be these buy stops right here. That presses up, and that was our manipulation on Friday. Look at where it's happening, guys. It's in London session that it's doing this, okay? And it presses up into that higher time frame imbalance. It takes out these buy stops right here. And remember what I was just saying a moment ago in regards to that daily candle, because that's a signature you always see. I mean, look at these daily candles. That's what you see. You see, I mean, just look to your left. Look right here. We open up right here. It pops up. It expands lower. Right here, little pop up, not much, and then it expands lower. Right here, pops up, expands lower. Right here, pops up, expands lower. Like it's the same thing. Look right here. Opens up right here, moves up higher, expands lower. That's where you want to look for the manipulation. The absolute high of these candles that are put in right here. If you go down to the lower time frame chart, it looks very bullish when these candles right here are moving up, and that's the intention. Because yes, to take liquidity to draw them to this imbalance, but also to entice buyers to get in to create that liquidity, to create that sell side on the other end of the coin. So you can see right here is the absolute high. That was the manipulation. But we have the higher time frame perspective. We understand that we are coming up into higher time frame resistance right here in London session. So that's where you want to anticipate that manipulation is in, right after midnight into London in that particular area. Identify your higher time frame point of interest. Okay, go to the daily chart or the 4-hour chart. Identify your higher time frame point of interest. Look for that move up. That first move is typically the fake move, and that's what we saw right here. That is a key time that you look for manipulation. Again, they do it why? Because you have a draw. Because as I just pointed out, in this specific scenario on this one, we had a fair value gap up above. And that's a draw on liquidity. That's an imbalance. And that's the sole reason why this pushed up first to do that, was to come into that imbalance. And you can see, so we get that push up, and then it expands lower. It reveals its true hand right here. It ends up, now actually I'm not going to act like I'm perfect either. I did think it was have another push up before it pulled the rug, because we were looking at this in chat right here as well. And we got this little pullback right here. It came down to the support, and it did give a really nice ramp up. And I think it gave over 2 to 1 at the time. Like in this area, it was almost 3 to 1 before it pulled the rug. But so I did think it was going to have one last push up. I can say that. I can admit that. I have no ego with it. But that's why I priced it what it did today, guys. That was the fake run. That was the higher time frame point of interest. And then we got an expansion lower. It pulls the rug, and that's the daily range right there. Let me put in a vertical line so you can see it. See right here, that's the daily range. That is the entire price action on Friday that occurred. Look at that. See this? Move lower, and then boom. We get that push up. This is our Judas swing right here. See this? Up into a higher time frame point of interest right there in London. Taken buy stops right here. And then it expands lower. Price essentially shows its hand, right? And that's what we see. That's what we saw play out right here, guys. So that's one time that you want to look out for manipulation. It's like right after midnight into London. And you'll utilize higher time frame points of interest to time it to look for those reactions, etc. Now, there's other times, though, that you want to look for this manipulation, key times that you want to look for. Another very popular time to look for manipulation is high impact news. Okay, so go to, use forexfactory.com. Okay, you can go to forexfactory.com, just go in there, look for red folder news, and be very aware of when red folder news is occurring. And don't be one of these degenerates that tries to trade the news when it's happening. Let the news get done with. Let the manipulation get done with. And what you'll see with high impact news is you'll see similar signatures as you get with like London session. It's just with news. So like, for example, what you'll see a lot of times, not all the times, just like with London session, not all the times, but a lot of the times what you'll see with high impact news is you'll have a stop run first. Like the news will come out and then immediately you'll get like a big spike in one direction. Okay. And that spike, sole intention is to take stops, take liquidity, and rebalance price action, right? The first move is typically the fake move. And then what you want to see next after the fake move is done at high impact news, you want to see the real move, just like right here, guys. Just like right here, but with news, right? Obviously it's in a quicker manner as well. It's a lot more explosive. It's in a quicker manner, but you'll see the same thing. Like, for example, just imagine with me for a second that right here we're sitting and then news comes out, right? And then say you get like a big spike up immediately, and it comes up, it takes out buy stops, it comes up to an upper imbalance, and then you want to see a big rejection right after doing that. It probably shows its hand, it has a shift in market structure to the downside, and then you'll look for that continuation that's already been set. So the fake run first. The first move is typically the fake move, and then you want to see price show its hand, have that shift, etc. after the fake move. That's all you look for. It's that simple. It's that easy. Again, high impact news is when you want to be aware of it. So, usually 8:30 is the most common time you'll see the high impact news. And then, of course, sometimes you'll have it right before 8. Sometimes you'll have it like around 10 o'clock. Just look at your calendar, go to forexfactory.com, and you can see everything that's laid out for the week. And you need to be very, very, very aware of it. Okay, that's like the very first thing that you should do at the very beginning of the day is you need to look at that calendar and you need to see what's coming up. Okay, because you want to steer clear before the news. But then after the news is done with and price has shown its hand and it's shown, now actually let me rephrase that so nobody's confused. I don't believe there's anything wrong with trading before news, but you want to be in cash by the time it's released, okay? But of course you can wait for news to happen, and then after news has happened and then the stop run and all that stuff is done with, you can go back in and then you can pick it apart a lot more easily. So you know what signatures to look for. You know the manipulation, you want to see the expansion right after that, and then price is essentially showing its hand, then you can just get on board the trend and piggyback that momentum that's been set. So that's a key time that you want to look for it. So we have covered so far. We got the London. We got the high impact news come New York, because that's when it typically will occur, is New York session where you'll get that high impact news. That's what you want to look for. Okay. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pivot over into futures, and I'm going to look at this example from the other day. And I'm going to show you, because this was with Forex, but I know I got some future traders that listen to me as well. And we're going to go over that real quick. All right, so let's talk about ES here real quick. So I was talking about this with my mentees on Friday, and it did give some really clean setups. Overall, I had a very aggressive bearish expansion on Friday, but there was actually some nice little buy setups in there as well that I'm going to pinpoint for you. Okay, so here's the deal with futures. Now, same deal though as in regards to futures. Right after or in early London session is a prime time to look for manipulation with futures as well. You'll see the same exact thing over with futures. Like right after midnight into London, you'll see the same thing. So just take what I applied over with that Forex pair over into futures, and you'll see a similar deal over here too. But there's a little bit different scenarios here I want to pinpoint with futures. Now, yes, same deal applies with news, 8:30, 10 o'clock, or whenever the high impact news occurs. Just look at your calendar. That's a prime time that you want to be aware with futures as well. You want to look for those signatures that I already taught you in this video. You want to look for those specific signatures. And it's the same thing with futures. But then there's also one more time I want you to be very aware of with futures. One more time. And that is 9:30 equity bell. 9:30 equity bell is a prime time for turtle soups. It is a prime time to be hunt for turtle soups, okay? And how do you play those turtle soups? Well, it's a similar deal as I've already displayed in this video with the other manipulation swings, is you want to identify your liquidity pools. You want to identify that support. And then 9:30 is when you're going to time it, because you can anticipate that, and this is usually what happens. The first move at 9:30, it's typically the fake move. okay? Because you have that trend, that set coming into 930 equity bell. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Because, all right, so let's take this, for example. Let me actually zoom in. Or actually, let's start right here first, and then we'll zoom in. So you can see right here, what was happening first things first on ES this morning. We had a similar deal. Look right here, guys. We get the midnight opens right here. We come into a new day. It's Friday. And then we get this push up. Guess what? There it is, just on now with futures. There's your manipulation move first. It takes this liquidity. It has that push up. It takes out buy stops, but it also fakes in breakout buyers who are looking for this high up here to get tagged. And it cleans out that sell side right there as well. We understand that. Okay. We have that outlook coming into the day as I pinpointed in chat. Okay, so we get that manipulation move right there. That's London. That's the prime time that I've already taught you to look out for. And then we move lower. And all throughout London, what we see happen here is prices selling off, selling off. Look at this. It's putting in lower high, lower high, lower high. It's consistently making new lows right here. Look at my cursor. Look at where it's moving. Look how it's consistently moving lower right here, down into this sell side, which is our draw. Okay, and then what happens here? Well, we're coming right into 930 equity bell. Like literally, look right here. Coming to the 930 equity bell, we tap down. It dips its toe down into this higher time frame sell side right here, where my cursor is. That is higher time frame liquidity, guys. It's a higher time frame point of interest. That is higher time frame support, right into 930 equity bell, which, as I've just told you, is a prime time where fake runs occur. Is a prime time where turtle soups occur, which is a fake run. Okay. That's where you want to be on. That's another key time you want to be hunting for these plays. Okay. So, and keep in mind, look at what's been happening previously. I always put myself in this mind frame whenever I'm looking at these charts is I think, okay, where are traders keeping their stops? Where are traders that are trailing their positions? Where are they going to be trailing their positions at? I understand this thing's been selling off, and now it's coming down to a higher time frame point of interest. And I understand because this thing's been very weak. It's very bearish. There's a bunch of traders in this thing that are showing their positions. Where are they going to keep their stops? Above resistance. Where's the next key level of resistance? We have right here where my cursor is. Look at that. That is an area where it failed to move higher right here. And then before it made that new low, that is a key level where we can understand that traders are going to be trailing their stops at. It's right above this high. And then just to make it even better, right above it, we got a 1 hour bearish imbalance. It's on the 15-minute chart right now, but that's a 1 hour bearish imbalance. And what did I just tell you a moment ago with that Forex pair? These imbalances, they serve as a draw on liquidity because it was not efficiently delivered. That's an area that was not efficiently delivered. It's serving as a draw on liquidity now because price is going to want to rebalance that price action. Put it together. It's been selling off down right into 930 equity bell, which is a prime time for fake runs, which is a prime time for turtle soups, right down into a higher time frame point of interest. Okay, we understand there's buy stops right here. We understand there's an imbalance right here. And right at 930, it dips its toe into that higher time frame point of interest. We can anticipate that fake run is probably going to occur here soon. Look at this right here, 930 immediately comes down and dips deeper into that higher time frame point of interest. See this horizontal blue line right here? It's just on a 1 minute chart now. And now we're coming down to that higher time frame level right here. It dips its toe into that level and then immediately, notice how it wasted zero time, and then it immediately respects it. Look how it wicks beneath it. Because remember, the wicks do the damage, the body tells the story. It pushes up with aggression. Has that big, strong, explosive close right here immediately after taking that liquidity right here. And then we get this candle right here at 931. There's your fair value gap confirmation. There's your classic ICT 2022 set up right there in play. See that? And then it comes down. It finds support because that's a shift in market structure on the lower time frame. That's a key shift in market structure. It took liquidity, fair value gap, strong close. That's everything you want for a market structure shift on the lower time frame chart. Everything. And then you also got your draw on liquidity up above. You got these buy stops up above. Like we've already identified, a lot of shorts are going to be keeping their stops above that high. They're trailing their positions. Remember. And now we got a higher time frame point of interest. Now we got a change in trend. So now we can simply piggyback that momentum up into those buy stops, up into that imbalance. And then again, you can see it ramps up and it draws up into that level right there. And it cleans it out. Did it sell off later? But we don't care about that, right? That's a scalp opportunity right there. That's a scalp opportunity that you are able to capitalize on right there. Okay. And it found resistance, obviously, because it rebalanced its price action, which is resistance is now completely efficiently delivered. And it is overall bearish. And that's why it sold off. Okay. But that's the key thing I want to point out here. Another key time to look for is 930 equity bell. Look for that fake run. Identify your key levels right after 930 equity bell. put yourself inside the mind frame of opposing market participant and think about where would you keep your stop on this play, and then target that level. It's that simple. You got to kind of put yourself inside in their shoes, and then understand what liquidity pool you have, because you need a point of interest. You don't just want to be taking any little dilly-dally bounce, any random bounce. No, there needs to be a storyline behind it, and you need to know where the draw is. All of that is very important. And again, this ties into the importance. I made a video recently on the ICT 2022 mentorship and why most people fail trading that model. And this ties into that perfectly. It's understanding the draw. It's understanding your liquidity pools. And for anybody who hasn't watched that, I'll leave a link to that video on the ICT 2022 mentorship and how to trade it, or how to correct that mistake that many people make. I'm going to leave a link to that video in the video description of this video, right? And you can watch it after this, okay? So it's just, and it ties into it perfectly, because we took out this higher time frame level, 930, prime time for turtle soups. We anticipate that. We got a draw liquidity up above. We got buy stops up above, and then it gives you that easy scalp play to capitalize on it for, a few points. I mean, you're not milking off a bunch of points on it, but, a few points in there, this little scalp play. I mean, that's all you need, okay? So, and that's what we saw on ES. So to kind of sum up this video, we talked about London session right after midnight into London session. It's a prime time. You want to look for that fake swing, because again, just remember how the daily candle looks. Okay, you have that. I mean, let me just zoom out real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. You have the daily. It opens right here. This is where this. Let me just clear this off again. We open up right here. And then we get to move higher. There's your Judas swing. That's what it looks like. That's what the candle looks like. That's what it always looks like. And then you just reverse it for a bullish scenario. Is it always going to be perfect like that? No, sometimes you're not going to get that type of deal. Again, this is trading. Nothing is perfect. Okay, it's not. It doesn't always happen like that. But again, most times it does. Okay, and then it gets to move up. There's your manipulation. There's your expansion. That's what you look for. That move right here. You want to see that in London session. All right, London session, that happens in London session. That's where it does the damage of taking that liquidity. It baits in buyers, and then it pulls the rug. That's a fake run right there. That wick in there is fake. It's a fake run, okay? And then the body tells the story where it really wants to go, right? So we covered London session. Then we got 8:30, or not just 8:30, but just high impact news in general is another key time you want to look for it. And then 9:30 equity bell over with futures. But yep, I think that about covers it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hope you got some value out of it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you later.